Well, hi, this is Jacqueline with Nickel and Dime Decor, and I've been busy. I just been so inspired by this pattern, and it's given me an outlet, and I have a plaque on my sewing room that says sewing is my therapy, and boy, do I mean it now. It definitely is my therapy. So I want to show you on the Lucky Stars. I have 3 blocks done, and I did 1 block every morning, and it's gone pretty good. Now this is a trial and error that I want to do so that you don't have to make the mistakes I've made. That's the whole purpose for me, is to teach you by making my own mistakes, learning, trying different things. And I'll explain what I had a little bit of problem with later. This is my first block. Isn't that pretty? If I do say so myself, I love it. That's 1. And see, I'm putting 3 in a row, so I've got my first row done, but I'll probably switch them around after I get all 9 of them done. You know how that goes. This is the second one, and so far I've not duplicated any of the patterns. That's going to happen, I'm sure, but I haven't done it yet. It's just my cup of tea. I really do like this, how it's turning out. Now, what I have decided that is the best approach for you to do, it was for me anyway, is I'm going to put the camera down and show you how I separated. You know, I had them in the color schemes. I had all of the pieces of each color together, but I've separated them now and put them into what's going to be my block. And that just made more sense to me, because I wanted to see if I was, you know, most likely going to run into duplicates. So I think it will work for you. Like if you're doing the baby quilt, you've got 12 blocks. And go ahead and organize your blocks. You have the background pieces in every block. Your 3.5 by 3.5 and 3.5 by 4.5. You have your 8, 2.5. You have your 4-inch or 4.5, 4.5 inch square. You have your 2 side pieces, and you have your 2 that you sewed together. So what I did is I just laid it out, just visually put my block in the middle, and then put this on top, you know, just so I could see. Put my 2 side pieces on the side, and then my 2 side pieces on the top and the bottom, and then I could see, yes, I've got them all individual and separate. I don't have any duplications. So that's what I would recommend you do. It seems to go faster to me. And now I will show you what I mean by that. I'm going to put the camera down. And see, I have, this is ready to go, and this is ready for my block. Since you have 9 of these squares, you know you're going to have a different one for each square. You know you're going to have your background, and you just pick this to go on for your, well, we call them flying geese, but I don't know that you would call them that in this, but These are your little 2.5-inch squares. And lay them out the way you want them. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. And I got them all, and I've got them, my little 2.5, no, I don't on that, but I've got some of them marked. See, I've got my line drawn across. We'll get to that in a minute. So this is how I would do your blocks. I think that's first and foremost what you should do. Then we will start. Let's just pick one of these, whichever one we're going to do, and let's put it together. There's our center block. We're not going to use that right now, but that's our center block. That's our mainstay. The first thing that you do is take your 3.5 by 4.5. This block is so simple, but it's crucial that you have an accurate 1/4 inch. It's just mandatory. It won't come out right if you don't. So take your 3.5 inch by 4.5. Yeah. And I had the dangest time trying to decide my right and wrong. Okay. You have to draw your line across. Let me get one that I've already drawn mine so we don't have to do that. Let's pick this one because I've already drawn my lines. Saves us some time. And I'll put my squares that I've done back over there. Now, don't use your 3.5 square. Use your 3.5 by 4.5. And you'll see why. Put your right side down or facing up. Okay. Now I have marked from corner to corner. And it suggests that you put it kind of crossways. And you put it right here. Well, I'm going to double check myself because angle it kind of with this point down here, okay? It's just easier on your mind. And then put it in this corner with left to right, okay? Left to right. And we are going to do each and every one of them that way, for the 4 of them. And have them so that we kind of have an assembly line here, okay? And here we go, we've got them layered. Now, I've told you before, but I'll tell you again, I have to move my needle over one position to get a good 1/4 inch seam. And what I mean by good 1/4 inch is you want it to be just a hair under. And you'll see why later on. All right, I've got these all ready to sew. Kind of got them in a stacked order here. Now I'm going to put a little piece of fabric, and I'm going to put it under my pressure foot so that I can start sewing on it. And I'm going to turn the camera. Don't get seasick here. And I so hope you can see this is very close, and that's what I want. Now, got to turn this off just a second and go get my glasses. Now, what I mean by putting your fabric, this little scrap piece, I'm going to sew about, I don't know, 2 or 3 stitches. But my thread is almost out of my needle, so that won't work. Hold on. And I'm going to take 2 or 3 stitches, and then when I get off of the fabric, I'm going to leave my needle right there hanging. I'll show you. We'll see if we can, if you can see what I'm talking about. This is when you have edges like this, where you start off right here, your machine tends to eat that up. It's very hard to get a clean bite. So that's what we're going to do. And you'll have to move it around and work with it. But you're going to sew 1, 2, 3. Now we're off of the fabric. Now slide this right to where that mark is. And your needle is down, so we're ready to go. But I don't want you to sew on that line. This is something that I learned, well, when we did the snowball quilt, My Only Sunshine, I learned that then. You have to go 1 thread, and I mean just 1 thread, to this point past this line. 1 thread over to your right from this line, not to the left, but to the right. 1 thread. Your needle is almost touching the line, but you're over to the right, just ever so slightly. Now leave it there. Take your next piece, line it up again because it's shifted and will. Put it under there and you're ready to go. You didn't move a thing. And you're going just to the right. Take your next piece, adjust, put it under, and you're ready to sew. I went off. I went off. Be sure you turn it the right way, goes up here from the right to the left. Cut your 4 apart. And I'm going to do it up here so you can see. Fold this over. Fold, fold, fold. And you will see there is not a shade of the underpiece showing. It meets exactly. And that's what you want. If you sewed on that line, this top piece would be short. I guarantee you, it will not come all the way. So that's my tip for the day. Now, you finger press, and then we will iron it later. But finger press it right now and marvel at how perfect it is, because it's the neatest thing. Now, if you run across one that is terribly short, you're going to have to redo it, because it's not going to be a true 3.5 by 4.5. And what we're going to do is just finger press these, then take it to the iron, press, then we will come back, put our ruler down here and cut 1/4 inch from our stitch. If you don't trim it, you'll just have an extra thickness, you know, of fabric under there, and it won't look all that good. Okay. Perfect point in case. Can you see that this is a little short? See that? I could press it and get it up there, but I'm not going to take the chance, and I'm going to go back and stitch another stitch just right past that and take this one out, because that is not acceptable unless I think I can press it out. But you can't. See that? See, it's short. So that's what I mean. You have to take it out and redo it. I'm glad that happened, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's do this one. And why it happens, I don't know. I don't know what makes, I don't know. This one is perfect. It's perfect. So I'm going to go to the iron. It's in a different room because I'm working on a hand quilting a quilt, and I have to have the iron to press it, and so I'll be right back after I fix this one, and after I press these. I'll be right back. Okay, what's next? Well, first I wanted to tell you, when you're looking at this, you're looking at it yourself. The top piece is your right-hand side. It overlaps the left hand. Does that make sense? That way you'll know you did it right. The left side goes first, and then the right piece goes over it to form your little bee, okay? All right, what's next? We're going to put our 3.5-inch squares on the side pieces on each side. And visually think of this in going this way with your point down here. Put it right here with your point right here. And you're going to put this piece over here and this piece over here, okay? So we shall do that. Be sure and get it lined up as correctly as possible. With it down here, with the colors down here, your point down here, you're going to press to the outside, and see how it just naturally lays that way anyway. So just remember, you can finger press it for right now. It's going to go to the outer edges. That's our top piece of the block. I'm going to lay it out. Finger press. Now we're going to take our big 4.5-inch square. We're going to lay it right here, and we're going to put one of these that we just made, and we're going to put it side by side, just like that. I'm going to sew the edges together. Now see what a difference this block will be, because it's lighter colors. It's so different than the others, but gotta have one a little different all the time. So let's just fold this over and sew this. Hold your seam down while you're sewing so that it doesn't get all messed up, because you've spent so much time ironing, pressing correctly. You don't want everything to get messed up. The pressing is such an important part of this block too. that's our middle. And they're going to go towards the middle. See how they just naturally kind of do that? And that's what you're going to do, is just press them with your seams, turn to the middle. I'm just going to finger press for right now. Okay, now we've got to do the next row. So we're going to take, and it's going to go this way. And look, there's our pretty little star. Isn't it the cutest thing? Now we're going to put these on each side. This will be our longest video because, you know, now remember, it goes to the outside, the seams do. Now we have to press before we go any further. But there you can see is our center block. And the bottom seam goes to the outsides, the middle one goes in, and this goes out. I'll go press and be right back. Okay, the important thing about sewing your seams together, I found, is that we match these two seams. That's all we have to match. But if you have any give whatsoever in between here, you're going to have to scrunch a little and get it matched up good, because that's what's important, is to match these seams. And I would pin for this go round. See what I mean by this seam is going this way and this one is going this way. So we're matching them and we're butting them together, and they will be a perfect, perfect match. And pin right on that seam so it doesn't move. And then match up this one. And then if these seams match up good, if they don't, we can always, when we're trimming, we will adjust that. So that's no problem. So don't worry about it. Just be sure and get these seams right here matched up, okay? Now, one I did earlier, I really had some give, and if I come across one like that, I'll show it to you. But what I did was I just kept pushing this middle fabric right here where I had to do. I just kept kind of easing it up. And that's how you ease something in. And once I pressed it out, no problem. There wasn't a problem whatsoever with it. But that's how you ease something in. It's just smooth that fabric. Just pushing it forward. Okay, I goofed up on my seam. Oh, how I did, didn't I? So let's try that again. Go back. Don't know why that went floppy-jawed, but it did. So let's do this all over again. And see if we can do it correctly this time. This yellow fabric sure does ravel. Don't like it at all. It's yellow gingham. And it sure does make a mess. Okay, let's see how we did. Take our pen out. And I'm not going to fudge. I'm just going to show you. And if it's not right, it's not right. You see our... It'll be pressed up, and our seam is basically pretty perfect right there. See? Good job, Jacqueline. Okay, now we're going to put the top one on, and this one has quite a bit of, I'm going to have to ease it in pretty good, so y'all are going to see what I'm talking about. Why that happens, I don't know. You're just, difference in the fabric, difference in your seam. I don't know. Okay. Well, it's not bad at all. No. Just going to have to be a little bit careful, but it's not bad. Okay. Now you're not worried about the edges. You don't have to ease it in yet till you get to the middle. Pull your pen back just so your needle doesn't hit it. Pull your fabric down and ease it up. Just push it up. Get all of that ease out by just pushing, pushing, pushing. It just makes a world of difference. There's our pretty little block. And remember that you press this up. So finger press it down, and then this seam will go up. And this seam will go down. And when you do have a little bit of easement, then when you press it, it will all disappear. It will be fine. So that's where we are so far. coming along nicely. Now, I'm going to go press, be right back, and then we're going to put our side pieces on. And you might want to visually put your front top pieces on. Like, see, I needed to put that up there so I can get my chicken going the right direction. And then I'll know, well, do I need the red over here and the blue over here? And I think that will be fine. And then this piece, I can put the blue over here and the red here. And there we have it. And I have all different, I don't have any duplications again. Let's see, no. I have the same pattern, but they're different colors. So let me do some pressing and I'll be right back. That's all I need to do. There's my 3/4 and there's my 3/4. There she be. Now you're just gonna have to, you're just gonna have to work with it. If it's a 10.5, get it down to a 10, then trim 1/4 inch off all the way around. You got a 9.5. Or if you want to go 3/4 inch from the points and do it, but I didn't like that I didn't think that was as accurate. So now we're ready. We are ready to put our side pieces on, and then our top and bottom, and this block is done. I'm going to put my chicken up here, and then this red over here. And there's my block. They're big blocks, 15.5 inch blocks. Got to remember that when you want to make it. Because a 12 blocks for a baby quilt is, gosh, 45 by 60. That is a really big baby quilt. So, just remember that. Okay, I'm going to sew these two sides ones on real fast. Sew these two on. And then we will go from there. And I do not have a 9.5 inch block. So I got to fix this. I've got to get it to a 9.5. Figure out where I am wrong. Yeah, I just need to do this side right here. Okay, 9.5. No, it's a 9.5 inch block. Okay. No, it isn't. Gosh, Jacqueline, use your head, girl. Use your head. Okay. There's my 3/4 from that one, and there's my 3/4 from that one. Now we're correct, okay? All right, let me sew these two seams. Let me sew the top, and then I'll show you the finished block. These two outer pieces are pressed to the outside, okay? Then we put this on. We don't have to match anything except our side seams, which is good. these will be pressed up. This will go up. So just finger press it right for right now. And see, I wanted my chicken his legs to be right, so that's why I put him over on that side so he wouldn't be upside down. Now this one will go here, and we will just match up our seams, and our block is done. So fun. And we don't have sashing or anything on this block. You just sew the blocks together, which is another plus. And this one, because it's going down, will go down. And there is our big, beautiful block. Okay, I want to show you our big, beautiful block we just made. Is that not gorgeous? And like I said, there's no sashing. We're just going to sew them together. But I'm not going to sew them together until I get all 9 blocks done, because I probably want to, since this is a real light middle, I want it in between too dark. So I'll need to do some arranging, but I hope I explained it well. I hope you understood what I was saying. If you need to go back and, you know, watch the video over and over and over until you get it, that's what it's for. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Quilting is good for the soul and for what ails you. So thank you so much. Now, I'll get all of my blocks done. We'll put them together and put the backing on and everything, and decide. I'm not going to do a whole lot of quilting. I don't know how I'm going to quilt it, but it's just for my little table, and I'm not going to be just real particular. Thank you for watching Lucky Stars Table Quilt, Part 3. And I hope you enjoyed it. And bye, and God bless you, each and every one.